group today and I saw this woman, Jen Kagan, asking for help about looking for some advice on how to optimize her funnels and stuff on System.io. And I just took a little look just to see what kind of thing she has going on. I thought this might be helpful to a few people, but I had a look and went straight to her site, and we can see that this is like the homepage, right? And there's not much here. So the first thing I did is I just thought, well, we could probably optimize this to actually be more useful and more and provide more efficiency and like more reward and value to potential customers and clients. So I went ahead and just redesigned that homepage using Figma, and we can just take a look here that you can see here that I basically changed it from this very short homepage, just doing the desktop only, to something a little more, something a little more like larger and longer essentially. And that doesn't necessarily mean like longer is better, but in this case, it provides more information. And so the main thing I noticed just with the homepage alone, and there's a few more things to this that are actually more important to the efficiency of a funnel than just this homepage especially. But you can see here simple things like homepages need to have at least like there's about 7 sections that are must-haves, okay? And this one is just lacking in all of those aspects, right? And like for example, the main thing is like the last thing we want on a homepage is to have our name in large print. Essentially, we want to have the call to action. So this is the first section of any homepage, is the hero section, and in here we'd have a call to action, but we'd also describe what it is that we do for the potential client or customers. And I didn't really edit any of the text. Like some of the writing could also be improved, some of the copywriting, but just this alone is good enough to see, and with Jen's smiling face next to it, which is really good. Because the picture also shows like the result of this thing. You know what I mean? Like if you take control of your wellness from the comfort of your own home, which she looks like she's very comfortable and in control of her wellness, she'll find greater balance in life and secure a healthier future. So this looks like the result a client or customer should get, and also introduce them to Jen. So this is a nice picture, and this is just super straightforward, right to the point for a potential client. But now the next section, which is like I say, this already what she has here is lacking a lot. But the next section would then be the benefits as features. So not just listing features that you get, like that your clients would get or that you provide from your service or products, but listing like how that benefits them, put them first all the time, always, right? And so I just screenshotted this from her website from a different page, in fact. And that was a big thing actually. A lot of what's like useful and relevant was hidden inside of like different pages. And so just putting it all at the front to explain what it is that she provides is super important for the clients and customers. And even this alone, like say, this was just a screenshot, but we could take these sections and put them vertically and then expand on each one to really show that it provides benefits to the client or user or customer. I personally use horizontal layouts as a means of like order, you know, so like you read left to right. So to know that you're, so in this case, it would imply that awareness comes first, then support, then adaptation, then integration. Whereas you could get any of these benefits at any point in time. So that's just like one of my little design things I would do. But having it horizontal doesn't necessarily hurt or harm the conversion rate. And then after that, we go into the services she provide. And these would have call to actions too. This is just something I threw together in like the last half an hour, 20 minutes or so. And in these services, that's where she should mention what it is that she offers. Again, these were hidden behind this work with me section, which was a little bit convoluted, but we would just break those out into these sections and showing people what they can get and where like what they might align with better, and then with the images there, and then going straight into testimonials. Like this is huge. Like she has a lot of testimonials spread out across her entire site, so having all of them here would be good. This is just another screenshot, but she has many videos, many written testimonials. This section should be by far one of the largest to show proof of concept, you know, to say that you've worked with other clients before and this is how you worked with them and these are the results that you gained for them. And then this what to expect in class. Like this is normally where I'd use a horizontal layout to show like first you might, you know, get set up, get calm, whatever, second, third, fourth, whatever, as many steps as they might be. So this is normally like a steps in class sort of area. And this particular one, I just not screenshot, I copied and pasted this from the website. But even if we kept it like this, a good advice here would just be to use ChatGPT to rewrite these into something more digestible to the audience. You know, use bullet points as much as possible, short sentences, no longer than 3 lines per paragraph, essentially, so that people aren't afraid to read. It's not an overwhelming amount of text. Because in user experience, there is a correlation, a negative correlation between the amount of text on a page or on a website in general and the amount of words actually read. So the more words you start to include on a website, the less likely people are to read them, especially if there's no formatting like bold text or bullet points and stuff, where it makes it easier for people to read those specific key important points. And so, um, yeah, this could definitely be reduced a lot. But again, this was just taking what she already has and improving, putting it into a better format. And then afterwards, we'd have Meet Jen. Again, same thing here. Just blocks of text are just not desirable to the audience to read. However, this is also something that you would test with your specific audience. So this might not be a problem for her audience, which we'll also get into in a moment. Then we'll have certificates and teaching workshops. So this is good for credibility, similar to how we have testimonials. Like, they give really good credibility, but these are official recognized certificates, which are really important to show that she's a professional in her field. And then this last section can be missed. It's not a big deal, but it's pretty good for keyword triggering for Google and stuff. But again, this isn't as necessary depending how your audience or potential clients find you, which is something I really love to push in a lot of my teachings. It's about the customer client journey and the journey map. And so if you intend for them to find you through Google, then different SEO tactics would be better used. And then at the bottom, again, this is just a screenshot, but at the bottom we'd have FAQs. This is where we challenge objections. And underneath this, she could have a footer as well, which she has already in here. But you can see already immediately, this just delivers more of a journey to the potential clients and customers, allowing them to see what it is that they can get out of working with Jen, what that result might look like, being as happy as this woman is here, as Jen is here, the benefits that they stand to gain, how that they access those benefits through these services, and then how everyone else has felt as a result of their benefits that they've received. And then if you're really on board, you're like, okay, then, well, how would I get started? And these are just very minor improvements that could be done on almost every site. And then after each section, you would then have call to actions to actually allow people to get their first win, right? And that's just the first thing. I thought that would be it technically, but that's the reason why I'm sharing this now, because the work just not the work, but the site started to become more and more convoluted. Remember, her request was, is there anyone that could help her with her funnels? And there's a good opportunity to actually express that, or to share that funnels aren't just these digital pages, right? It's not just where these certain buttons lead to and stuff. The funnel is the entire customer's journey and experience. So how they find you, what you offer them, how they get their first fulfillment, and what happens after. So we can see here that immediately on her current page, there's these questions. And so, well, not these options, right? And up here, this work with me, I can actually show you that real quick. This is a lot of stuff, like, to decide what to pick. So now this is where it gets quite different in action. So I'll show you how I then map this out. This is Jen's map of her site. Not the map technically, I mean the journey map of the customer, or the potential journey map. And this is where it gets very, very complicated very fast, okay? Because when you land on Jen's site currently, you are actually given 3 call to action options, right? Just looking at the home screen, never mind what's happening in the nav bar. And first easiest one to go with is the top, which is easiest to go with in terms of how many steps there are, but it was the hardest to actually see, because it doesn't really stand out. Like, if you go to the site, this button is very small, and this is one of the Gestalt principles of design. The larger the call to action button is, like physical size, the quicker the user is likely to press it, right? And so this is quite a small button compared to if you scroll down and you see these buttons, which are reasonably large, right? And so yeah, that's just a principle, like one of the many design principles, which are really great for user experience to be aware of. So if you do click that, you get taken to this landing page, and this is now probably a funnel in System.io or other software. It doesn't really necessarily matter. Um, Again, the copy on here could be improved, but that's by the by. You know, that depends on where the effort should be placed, right? Um, Based on the customer journey map. But once you click the get the guide, you are then given this pop-up where you'll put your email and first name, download it here. Great. So very low friction. And like I say, the actual page could be improved. You can have a look at it live on here. The actual page text could be improved, particular because um, we just want to again put the customer first. Like I love putting the customer back into the customer journey map, right? And what would they really get immediately when you see here? Like this almost becomes irrelevant slightly, right? Again, from Nelson Group and the UX advice that they provide, the nav bar, something like this, should be like 10% and no more of the entire screen of the web page. But also, Russell Brunson and other funnel hackers and such have found that the funnels convert higher with less branding, right? So having logos and such like this can actually negatively impact conversion rates. But that's I'm getting pretty nitpicky here. I won't lie, but that's what I do is conversion rate optimization. And again, here the question I get asked by interpreters, this should just immediately be. I prefer to go the notion of the dream outcome of the client. You know, so I think this guide is like um, a pain reduction guidebook or something. Again, this is it. I already can't. I don't know what it is I am actually getting, and to expect someone to read this after not knowing what they're getting into from here. Okay, yeah, free pain guide. So yeah, it's just there's a lack of congruence, right? But this page can be improved dramatically just purely on copy. Like the layout's fine, the number of call to actions is fine. Especially it's one call to action, it's great. This section maybe not necessary, and this navigation at the bottom very damaging for conversion rate optimization because we don't want people to be able to leave. This is like from Murphy's Law, right? What can go wrong will go wrong. If you have all these options for people to click, there's going to be a number of people that land on this page that will click these other links and go away from the desired action of exchanging their contact information for a free guide, right? So we want to limit, like that's the whole point of a funnel and a landing page. Very limited in distractions. There should only be one thing to click on this, and it should be to get the guide, right? So that's just that first one, but the rest of it becomes, like I said, so complicated. So we have let's go left first, right? Advance your practice. So already we can see like there's two call outs here. You're either a online Iyengar yoga class enthusiast, I suppose, or someone interested in Ayurveda, or you're a sign language interpreter. So that's seems to be her two audiences, right? So if you go down this route, it takes you to this page. And this is something from, I can't remember the book's name, something Krug, but Daniel Krug, I believe. I can't remember, but the book is called Don't Make Me Think. In UX, especially, that's primarily my background in web development and UX design, before engineering and other such. But a big thing here is the number of decisions or the number of options to make a decision on decreases the likelihood of a decision being made. Meaning, the more options you give someone to take, the less likely they are to take any of them. So remember that throughout all of this, right? But this is really important. So already here we're given these three buttons to possibly click on, and then this whole like class list, if you will, workshop list, right? And this goes on. This list really goes on. It's a lot, and a lot of people will be overwhelmed by the number of choice. And much like the psychology of the human mind will be overwhelmed by the choice, and very likely won't make a decision. But in the event that they do, right? Let's say they click on this first one for the membership calls. Now they're given four decisions again, right? And so they have to read this and decide which one best suits them. And these are the virtual yoga studio classes. And then after that, then they're taken to purchase pages. Now here, that's where you start to see the price of stuff, right? So I'm in Turkey, so this is in lira at the moment. But if I did decide, okay, I really do want to do this Sursana Unlimited, it sounds good, auto renew. Um, yeah, even if I get to a point where this price is really hard to see. Actually, I only just noticed it now, but then only then are we then given the price, and then we're expected to fill out this very convoluted um form to get it, right? And so there's a lot of friction basically. And so these are 4 times, right? And then the next option is to go to the video library. Same thing here. I just took screenshots just to make it easier than clicking through a website. This video library is large. I mean, it just scrolled down for ages, and then each one scrolls horizontally for ages. It's hard to know what it is that would be for me. And again, take this with a pinch of salt because I am not the ideal client. I am not an interpreter or someone who's an Ayurveda yoga enthusiast. So maybe this isn't something I would spend time looking at. But taking the interest out of the equation, the psychology of human decision making is that this will become overwhelming very fast and no decision will be made eventually, right? And I didn't even click through any of these to find out where they then take you thereafter. And then the final option, sign language interpreter programs, took me to a 404 page. So this link is dead. So that's that could be removed essentially. But even then, we're still talking about a lot of options. So now the next one is if we go down the route of, okay, let's say I am one of these people and I decide I'm a sign language interpreter. And so this already becomes relevant to me. Great. That takes away a huge problem. You know, I don't have to make a decision. The decision is made for me by calling me out. Now we get into another nitty gritty here. This page, I just took a screenshot of the top section, but it's like a long web page. But ultimately, what this offers you or affords you are these 5 call to actions that are on this one web page, right? So you are then asked then to decide, would you like to connect and align, interpret a wellness monthly membership, the wellness academy, in-person retreats and workshops, or this very hard, not hard to see, but again, it's a larger button, so likely to be clicked. This one takes you to a calendar link. Great. One click straight to booking. Amazing, right? And this could even just explain that it's free or what's going to happen in there. But again, by the by, we're more looking at the journey that's proposed or placed in front of the customer, right? And then with all these, it's learn more, not the best call to action phrasing, but I mean, it's also not incorrect, right? You are going to learn more by clicking through to these things. And it takes you to another web page. And now this web page for Connect and Align offers you 3 more call to actions, which are the memberships, right? Which are different tiers, bronze, silver, gold. And then when you click on this, you are then taken finally to a payment page. So again, great if you can decide which one you want. Not so great if you can't, if you don't actually get there. There's another big problem, right? The next one would be the Interpreter Wellness monthly membership. So again, same thing here. This offers 2 call to actions. One of them is a dead link again, and one of them takes you directly to a payment link for the monthly membership, right? Again, the copy could be improved on in here, the spacing and such. Again, that's only worth doing if that's where the needle will be pushed. If these are the ideal clients where the ROI is worth investing, put the time and effort into these, but it's not worth improving everything without knowing exactly where clients are coming and going to, right? And then this other one, this one's really bad, I think, for a few reasons, like the Interpreter Wellness Academy doesn't explain that it's going to take you to another site, right? These are all interlinking, that's fine, but oftentimes it's good practice to have a link off-site sort of icon, because this will take you to System.io. Now, the reason this one is particularly bad is just because in order to access any of these courses, you actually need a System.io account, which isn't explained, I don't think in here. And again, I didn't have even like, I didn't even read it that much because there's so much text going on. Yeah, it doesn't explain it in here. But in order, like, even if you do like the sound of any of these, you have to first sign up to System.io, which isn't explained. And then once you do, I clicked on just the first one. You are then taken to this page if you haven't signed up either, and it will tell you You need to log in if you to access this, or create an account if you don't. Cool thing is System.io's got a free account, so that's no problem. But then once you do get there, it then tells you to buy the course, right? Which isn't quite explained on this page, right? Some of them have, like here, like has a $22 thing, but there's no explicit pricing. So even if you do like the sounds of any of these, you might have a objection in pricing, at which point then you might have gone to the effort of creating an account, clicking buy now, and then seeing the price and thought, oh, actually too much for me. And then it will take you to the actual page. If you click buy course, it will take you to the landing page for that particular course. And then when you click sign up now, it will then take you to the actual payment like order form of this page. Again, just a lot of friction. And you can see I've done 5 here, but it's basically to let you know that there's one for each of these 10 options here, right? It's just a lot of friction. And again, just remembering someone has to make a decision as to which one they will start with here first, or they're going to read it and decide which one is most applicable to me. But then you expect them to sit here and read through all these options. Again, remember, the more options we start to introduce, the less likely a decision is to be made. And so um, that's why even some like opt-in forms often ask for, I think the sweet spot of opt-in forms is 3 fields of entry. So first name, second name, email. That yields the highest opt-in rate. Um, Surprisingly, 2 fields can decrease the opt-in, and anything more heavily decreases, but in some cases that's necessary, like to qualify a lead. So um, and the final option is the workshops and retreats. This will take you to this lovely page here. And this page is really well put together. I think, it could be slightly touched up. Again, the design isn't necessarily terrible. The copywriting is also great too. And having the testimonials, awesome. Only tidbit here is like, this looks like a button. This could just be a heading. The, formatting of text and typography, not the best, but again, there's something here to work with. That's a huge win. It's not starting from scratch. It's not some half-baked idea. This is a validated offer, clearly, right? And then it takes you to schedule a call with FAQs. All this is a really nice page, I think. And once you get to the schedule a call, the only problem here for sure is that you are here for the retreats, right? When you go to schedule a call, you're actually given 4 options as to what kind of call you're scheduling. And so you might have forgotten, am I booking a wellness yoga retreat? Was it a chat with Jen? Who knows? So it could at least just do the customer the work of already linking to this particular Calendly link, and then it takes the link and that goes on as normal. So you can see here, like, just the web itself just becomes rather complex. And this is something I'm creating a course on at the moment, but this is something I do with a lot of my clients and customers. I talk about the customer journey map, right? And this is the handout that I actually give here. This is the handout that's going to be free with the course I'm currently designing, but it's no different from what I do on my free discovery strategy calls of customer journey mapping. The only difference is there's a few more questions in between. And then at the end, you'll actually be given a resource, like a flow chart and like a next massive action plan. But this is something I give away for free as well. I will be giving away with the course, but it will be available separately as well on the website. But it's very simple. Like, I don't want to complicate things further than they already seem to be, but you ask yourself, how do your customers first discover you, right? Social medias are something, that's the awareness part. What's the first thing you offer them? What's the product or service that you actually sell, your core offer, right? Not just the list of all the stuff. What is the main thing that you want to provide? And then what happens immediately after they buy? And this also is applicable to like the first thing they offer being some sort of lead magnet. Like, what's the first thing that would happen immediately after? And then what happens after they've received the service or product or offer? Like, what's the follow-up, right? These are just very basic questions everyone should be able to ask themselves. And like a few answers will very quickly like show you where the leaks are in the funnel or where there's just too many complications, right? So for Jen's, for example, you can see that I found her through Facebook, through the Facebook group. But what we can see is if I clicked onto her Facebook, I'm given these 4 links, right? So the very, very first question, how do I discover her? Facebook or Instagram, right? So she's got these 2 social accounts. What's the first thing that she offers me? Options. She offers me nothing but decision making. Not nothing, but that sounds harsh actually. But she offers me an opportunity to make a decision on something that I'm not entirely sure what it is that she can do for me, right? Her Facebook in particular, I think there's only 2 posts when I clicked on there. Her Instagram is far more populated and actually told more of the story, which is very nice to see. But yeah, just options, which is difficult. And then it then becomes very convoluted very quickly. Here at the step 2 is like, what is it that she offers right away, right? These different links takes you to the website we've just looked at. This link tree takes you to the link tree that's on her link Instagram as well. The bit.ly takes you to one of these links. Calendly takes you to a free consultation. It's now worth seeing where her efforts best lie. And general advice that usually is applicable to everyone is the conversions happen in conversations. So her best bet is usually going to be this Calendly link, like get on a call with someone, decide where it is best to place them, what resource to give them, and then just send them a link live on a call to one of these other areas, right? Otherwise, of course, again, next most one size fits all answers, some sort of free lead magnet, right? And that's where it gets a little bit more complicated because, as we've seen, Jen technically has 2 ideal clients, right? Ayurveda yoga enthusiasts, I would describe them as, and then sign language interpreters, which I was not aware would be a market. But this is why I love doing marketing and learning something new every day, right? So the idea here is like that is just to be able to call out people, right? And so when you look at this, her Instagram is a much better funnel system already, right? So the link tree goes to here. Very straightforward here. Like if it's yoga for sign language interpreters, there's the pain-free guide and there's a no more neck pain free download. Those 2 could be condensed into one free PDF. Pain-free or pain prevention guide. And in there includes no more neck pain, right? But again, this is something that if I was to have a discovery call with her, would find out which one has the most downloads already, which one is serving sign language interpreters most already, right? Because she has testimonials, she has people that are there already using her products and offering some sort of feedback, right? And so you could either choose one or the other, or like I said, just bundle it into one, like pain prevention guide. Why can't that include prevention of neck pain too, right? And then these other 2, the monthly membership and the private Facebook group, 100% take the long, enjoyable route to these, right? Let someone get an immediate win. Remember, going back to our questions, it's like, what is the first thing you offer them? Well, if you were just looking at the sign language interpreters yoga options, these are a lot of options. And if you're new to seeing Gen stuff as a sign language interpreter who hasn't come here by referral or recommendation, you might want to check out what she has first, right? So it might be best just to try the prevention guide or the free download. Um, and then over time, over the nurturing, she could, using very good email marketing, follow-ups and sequences, nothing complicated either. Then the next best thing to offer would be, hey, join my private Facebook group. It's free. Meet other sign language interpreters, especially if this is someone that hasn't come by recommendation, right? And then within the group, find out what people are interested in, who's warm, who's cold, stuff like that. And then slowly but surely introduce the idea of the monthly membership course. Like, don't necessarily show everything up front because, again, remember, the decision making will decrease with all these options. And Murphy's Law, what can go wrong will go wrong. Someone might click on the membership and decide maybe that's not for them. And what if that means they don't come back to this page at all, right? Because the way these link trees work on Instagram, especially, it's like if you hit the X at the top left, it just closes that link and then they're back on Instagram and they're scrolling again, right? So yeah, you could have just one option here, perfect for sign language interpreters, to introduce them to yoga. And maybe within there, be in the pain prevention guide, there'll be stuff for hands, because I imagine sign language uses a lot of hands, throwing gang signs. And then neck pain as well, because they're like upright all day, maybe pain prevention for their feet and stuff. Yeah, like that could be a really good entry point to say, here's what you get straight away. Very low commitment, huge, big win if you are a sign language interpreter, right? And then after that, you can join a Facebook group. Again, another huge huge win for them, very low friction. I haven't checked if this is free or not either, by the way, but if it is, great. If it's not, still something you can slowly introduce. And then same with the monthly membership. Like it's a big ask, right? It's a big commitment, especially, even though they can cancel any time. I think it's like $47 ever. It's still a big thing to be pushing. So this could be reduced to one single option, and then these other 2 could come as part of a journey, right? And then when we look at the other options here, When I click through these, this just takes it to the main website. So this is kind of like a redundant link essentially. But the retreats, these are time based. I think this one's coming up in July 26th. So this could be something that her content could be revolved around. Like in here, she should be pushing a lot of content to say, sign up soon, or sign up will be closing, or sign up for this event that is coming this soon this year, and the next one won't be until next year, right? So this is something that can be like introduced and taken away depending on availability and the timing of the event. So probably you're not going to be able to take someone on, like say July 25th when the event's on the 26th, right? So this is only going to be there for a certain time period anyway. Um, and then this free workshop, like, that's a good freebie, right? So that's like that could be like the main call to action for like for anyone else that's not a sign language interpreter. And this interpreter thing, this could go with the interpretation stuff. And again, this could be part of the journey. Give them the free guide today. But again, it depends on how they're converting. You might find that you could give them two options: a free pain prevention guide now, or a strategy session, right? But again, it just depends on where the conversions are likely to be happening or where they're already occurring. And so if, again, you can just offer them one option here, won't make them think. They just know, oh, I'm a sign language interpreter. I have pain. Click, fill out the form, download. Great. Now they're in the list. Now you can take the time to contact them. Conversions happen in conversations, right? So get to know, would they like a strategy session? Is that something that they even thought was possible, right? Because I didn't actually know that at all. Um, or would they prefer just to join the group? And then in the group, you might have people sharing their wins and successes with the strategy sessions, making new clients more likely to say, maybe I should book one of those too. And then in that strategy session, that's when you can say, oh, by the way, I have a monthly membership where all of this is included and then some, right? So you take them on this journey of giving them wins, giving them something that is low friction, high success, high, high value to them, and using the psychological idea of gradual commitment, gradually let them get more involved in the ecosystem, right? Before then throwing down like your core offer, which in this case for sign language interpreters would be the monthly membership or possibly events, right? Um, and then again, even in the membership or Facebook group, that's where you could push these events too. And then this free workshop, it's hard to say who it's for realistically, but like I said, if the two ideal audiences are Ayurvedic enthusiasts and sign language interpreters, that would be the way to go. But again, in a discovery call, this would be something where you decide, like, just need to shave, like trim and stack, like shave away the stuff that isn't quite necessary, that's diverting your effort and attention, and focus on the people that you are ideally trying to serve the most. So, like I say, I think just from my quick glance at Jen's Instagram, it's obviously there's yoga, but there's a lot of videos further down with her interpretations and stuff. So just I don't know her enough from this to say what's right or wrong, and you can only make these decisions with data. But that's the way that this would be much more effective already, to go from what's this 8 options to 2, maybe 3 options, right? One for sign language interpreters, and then one general free yoga workshop of sorts, and then a retreat that is imminent, right? And you could also, I think she's using System.io already. So this link tree, this is a video I'll make another time, but this link tree could absolutely be redone and more efficient using System.io's like landing pages, like any platform in general. Like System.io isn't the only one, of course, but yeah, replace this with a landing page, right? Something that enables a journey for the user to say, call them out. If you're a sign language interpreter, just this is for you. If you are interested in my yoga content, this is for you. If you are looking for a retreat because they're possibly already partially warm, or whatever content you have pushed them to that point, or like got them to that point rather, guided them there, this is for you, right? And then it also cleans up what kind of content would be made. So like I said, for example, these are yoga videos here. So perhaps then this free workshop and yoga retreat is a good opportunity for both Jen and her audience. But yeah, it just depends on the data, honestly. Um, But yeah, I think this is just a good opportunity just to share with everyone. I will send this video to Jen as well, but I had a look at that and I just thought while I'm in between finishing off my course videos, this would just be something that I would like to share because, like I say, my course primarily focuses on the user journey as well as validation funnels, like very simple stuff. It's a free course I'm creating as well, by the way, um, just to help people that are looking to get into this sort of space with their services and offers. But a big thing for me is, or at least the work I do with my clients, is customer journey mapping. Everything depends and relies on customers. Like you can't have just a great offer or service or product, whatever, without ever trying to get it to people and having an expectation or guided journey for them to traverse and travel through to get to your desired action at the end, which is paying for some sort of offer or service, right? So it's a big thing I work with. And then around that conversion rate optimization, I love to optimize for conversions for desired action. So I hope that served as useful to anyone who watches, and particularly to Jen if she does see this. But yeah, this for sure. Everyone, please do this with your own offer and service, with your own funnels. Just check out how this map might look for yours. These are just screenshots, and then just drag and drop into Figma, whatever option you have, Miro board. It doesn't make a difference. Just draw some lines and just see what kind of journey your customers are expected to go through, and you can quickly see where any of the friction and sticking points are already. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you very soon.